you doing?
Yeah, I'm kicking it off. I was making sure everything else is good. All right. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I appreciate everybody for coming out, checking us out. Who's in the Room, Volume 2 is Thursday, November 11th, 2021. Tonight's topic for promotional material was called Based on Christianity. We had a, who was that? We had a special Who's in the Room. They haven't joined us just yet. So as always, we're jumping off with who's actually in the room. This time I'll start. We'll base it on how I get going. We'll say I'm Marvin Michaels, host Who's in the Room, Christianity. I was raised, I'll just talk about my religious affiliation. Raised Southern Baptist, Charlotte Missionary Baptist Church, Amarillo, Texas. I had a Black Muslim dad. I had a Southern Baptist mom. I went to Catholic school. And now I'm not quite sure how I identify, maybe non-denominational, although I do attend Concord Missionary Baptist Church. Shout out Pastor Brian Carter. That's who's in the room. Next, I'm just going around clockwise. I got on my screen, I got Mr. Perry right under me. Then we'll go with Malcolm, we go with D. I have an administrator named Six. If they want to jump in, they can. And then we hit up Success if y'all see it on the screen. So Tim, go ahead, my man. Who's in the room?
So I'm Tim. I just identify as a Christian. I grew up, I was everything for a little while. Baptist, AME, Episcopal, Pentecostal, every version of Christian that you could be. And then went to college, became atheist, and got out of college and became a Baptist. So I've been fairly well been Baptist ever since. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Tim, appreciate it. Thank you for joining Who's in the Room. Malcolm's next on my clockwise.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
And
happy Veterans Day to Malcolm. You served a couple tours. So shout out Malcolm, Veterans Day. Go ahead, sir.
Appreciate it, man. I've been eating free all day.
I know that's right. And he ain't holler at me. See how we do each other? Be your own people in the room.
So who I am in regards to this, y'all know I'm Marvin's brother. So same household, Muslim father, Baptist mom. Grew up going to church with little tight pants tapered around my ankles, doing the usher board, vacation Bible school, all that. As of today, I'm not an atheist, but I don't subscribe to any religion. And I surely won't subscribe to Christianity based off of my research of Kemetic sciences and African spirituality. So that's where I am in a nutshell.
Wow, well, shout out. That's what's up. Welcome to Who's in the Room. I got Derek. Derek, you can hear? Oh, we can't hear you. You're not you're on mute right now.
Mute.
Oh, fam, can you hear me?
Yep. Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Derek Page. I grew up Baptist, went to the military, went to the University of Texas for a little while, got kicked out, whatever, so didn't know no better. Went to the military, did better. I know who I am now. I've been to 31 different countries, went to Egypt, went through pyramids and did different tours and understood who I really am by myself. I represent myself in spirituality. I'm a Kemetic background. So I believe that Christianity is not for us. It never was for us, and it wasn't meant for us. So I'm just saying that I think that's something that we're following that was given to us by our ancestors. And that's just what I believe in now. You know, like as I said, though, I grew up Christianity, and half of my family was Jehovah's Witness, half of them was Baptist. And I just believe that, you know, we all got a choice that we have to make. And it's a very special choice because you come in here by yourself and you're going to leave by yourself. So I think it's something that we got to believe on. I just love this topic, and I'm just interested in talking to the brothers. Love y'all, man. That's all I can say. I'm listening.
And I appreciate it. Shout out to you. Happy Veterans Day to you also. So welcome.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Marvin. Thank you, Marvin.
You were Navy because you got the Navy hat on.
Yes, sir. That's Navy, baby. That's Navy.
That's what's up. Okay. We have our Administrator Six in the room. I don't know if they go speak, but right now we'll let them get their thoughts together and hit up on Adrian Gully, aka Success.
What's up, y'all? What's up, everybody? Everybody know me as Adrian Success Gully, man. Grew up Baptist from Southern Country Baptist. Grew up Baptist. Dad was a minister in the church. Been that way ever since 2002. Changed my whole perception of Christianity. Changed totally different. My cousin Reuben Turner, that was he was a study of the African history, and he changed me over to the spirituality, man. Just my history and my what I believe in for spirituality, and that's where I'm at right now. So.
Well, hey, Gully, aka he didn't do the Mr. Crappie Man, Mr. Puma. He didn't do all that, but well, who's in the room? We got I think we got some other people go roll on, but as they roll on, we'll get with them. And we got an admin on, but if they don't speak up, we'll keep it moving. Welcome everybody who's in the room. Christianity is the topic. Thursday, November 11, 2021. Let's go. First question out the box. How does Derek touched on it already, which I appreciate. How does Christianity fit in today's society, 2021? And from my viewpoint, I'm thinking along the lines of more educated, a more developed, a more evolved society. Are we thinking evolution versus creationism? Like, where does it fit in 2021? Like, where does everybody see Christianity or even religion? Now, I guess Christianity is I'm changing the topic. I guess it's my topic to change. Religion.
Can I start off?
Yeah, you can start off, but I meant religion. Does it fit in? And of course, we all Black men sitting and talking to one another. So let's go from that angle. How does that fit in for Black men in 2021?
Religion?
Yes.
So I feel like religion, to me, it doesn't fit in, but it does play a part.
Okay.
Black people by nature are spiritual people. We're people of the earth. We're loving people, nature. And so I'm not even going to go towards the Christianity angle, but just religion in itself, I don't think it fits. I think religion is a form of control, and I'm not bashing any one religion. I just don't subscribe to it because I feel like everything is bigger than us. We should be good to each other naturally. In the Army, they have 7 Army values. It's an acronym for leadership: loyalty, duty, self-respect, honor, integrity, and personal courage. So the main thing out of that is just being selfless, making sure things are bigger than yourself. We don't need religion for that. But you have to meet people where they are. And a lot of people do subscribe to these religions here in America, especially Black folks, Black men, Christianity. And that's what wakes them up in the morning. That's what they were indoctrinated into. So that's what they believe. And if you challenge them on that, a lot of times, especially Black women, but we're talking about Black men, it's an issue. So I think people need it because they've been indoctrinated so deep for them to move forward when they're praying, when they're believing. This is the way that they feel like they move through their day. But as for me, I don't need it. I personally just get up and I move and I make sure I'm being good for people. But to answer directly again, I don't think it fits in the framework where Black men need to move, in my opinion.
So that said, you mentioned on how it's indoctrinated. So do you admit it played a pivotal point? It played a factor. Let's take in slavery when we had that was our watering hole, right? That was the only foundation we had of a gathering point. Our muster point, if it wasn't in the field or trying to go to bed at night, was that church service. Church was that go-to point. And I say church, it could have been in religion, but church overall, that's what held us together to a certain degree. Yes or no? I mean, I'm being very superficial in that answer, but like slavery times, moving through turn of the century, moving through the early 19th century, moving through,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think it played a vital role in gathering and education, and where you could meet and have other discussions outside of what the slave masters were allowing to be spoken when they stripped us of our, you know, our language, our name. No need to go in.
What the slave masters allowing to be
Go ahead. Oh, somebody got reverb and somebody dropped off. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought somebody was jumping in. Go ahead. You know, I don't want to hog everything.
No, it was just
it served a purpose.
No, it was you. It was just being reverb.
Got you. No, that's all I was saying was, no, it served a purpose then. Again, Christianity was in Africa prior to our arrival here in the States amongst the indigenous people, but this was not our primary religion coming from West Africa, Mali, and these Ghana and things of that nature. But yes, I believe it played an integral part in, you know, in keeping Black folks together as a unit, or Africans, enslaved Africans, and then kind of gave us our foundation to where we are today. But, you know, at some point, I think we got lost in what we perceived as the American dream.
So did we get lost as a people, or were we misdirected by our leaders at hand? Because I
think both.
I still have religious connections. I still have Christianity connections, but I do not have faith in leaders. I do not have faith in pastors. I do not have faith in the church. I think we can still be spiritual. I think we can still be Christians. I don't have faith in the church. Do you think, and do you have, and everybody can chime in, Derek and everybody on past answers and current, where do you think that falls on some of the quote unquote leaders of the church? Pastors, because those are the leaders of the church, right? I.e. leaders of the community before we, not in a negative way, before we got into politics. Politicians became more leaders. And then with that, with corruption and greed, we had more, and then, you know, this organized structure that got, you know, crack and all the been inundated with drugs and whatnot. Then the big money, say pimps or drug lords, became leaders of the community, so to speak. Then you have the politician, drug lords, and pastors all trying to pull and lead the Black community, kind of like in Godfather of Harlem, when you had Bumpy Johnson, you had Powell, and you had Malcolm X, and you had all these three people: the drug lord, the politician, and the spiritual leader, all trying to pull the people. And then everybody had their little group, but they were trying to come together to make it happen. But the fact is that spiritual leader was in that mix. And so that's why I asked, do you think it's partly on the leader, it's themselves, as far as why Black men, Black people have kind of fallen away, in my opinion, from the church? But you can also answer earlier questions also, Derek, if you want to. You can jump in at any time you want. And you went on mute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He went on mute. Yeah.
Go ahead. Oh, you're on mute still. There you go.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No. I was waiting for the pastor to answer. I didn't want to interrupt. But what I wanted to say is this: that I love what Malcolm just said. I really, really enjoyed what he just said. But from the heart, when on leadership, when you say from the leader, so you got to understand that we didn't have a leader because we were brought over here through the Atlantic trade slave. So what that means is that when we got here, we was obtained by European individuals. They made us take on their religion, their language, their culture, everything. So what that means is that we don't even have our own culture no more. We don't even have our own food, because I wouldn't be 350 pounds right now if I would have took on the culture that I came from. And that what I'm saying by that is that when you say leader, because we walked, we always nurtured our body. We didn't eat this kind of meat that we eat now. We didn't do the things that we do. So I'm learning now in life. I've been learning this. I'm 50 years old, and I've been learning this now since I got out of the military, because I went to these countries and I learned that leadership comes from within yourself. What Malcolm said, we don't need religion to guide us. What we need is yourself to guide yourself and teach your kids. And when I say that, I'm saying that in a situation as you got to be able to understand that we as Black men, we have to understand that. Okay, let's go back to the slavery part. And I hate to do that. Let's go back to the slavery part. When we got.
Go ahead.
Long story short, is this. When we got here, one thing that they did not allow us to do was what? Read. We could not read. They didn't allow us to do that. They allowed one black slave to read. That black slave was most of the time was the pastor of the church that we were allowed to go to on that plantation. So that's who we learned everything. That was our one leader. So they taught us what they told them to teach us. And they go from a Bible that was written by the European men. And it's not a question or an answer or this and that, but they gave it to us. They forced it upon us with a whip. You're going to take this. In any lifetime that we live, that a person in the Bible tells us, you're going to live this life or else. Or think about this, slaves obey your master. What book? There's no way that we are the smartest people on earth, man. And I'm going to say this, and I want somebody else to speak because I've been having some good drinks. Sorry, Pastor. I know you're on there, but Marvin, sorry. But I'm just going to say, hey, we are the smartest people on earth, man. We are the smartest people on earth. And people don't understand this. And if it's some European on here right now listening to us, I hate to say, I'm just being honest with you. We are. We took the Caucasian European people out of the Caucasus Mountain. We taught them how to eat. We taught them how to eat without being by your animals. We taught them how to agriculture. We taught them how to do, Marvin, you an engineer. We taught them how to do the right agriculture things to make it in this world. We taught them all of that. Then what happened when they came about, they killed all of us, which is the Moors. That's our ancestors. They killed it, man. It bothers me to the core.
You're absolutely right.
So
Go ahead, Tim.
So there's a couple things, right? The Bible predates race, right? Like race was a concept created like in the 1700s in America. So like white, black, that doesn't mean trying to ascribe some sort of racial paradigm to the Bible and to Christianity, which is, I mean, honestly, it's an ancient religion. I mean, that's a little misguided, right? How they decided to use, it's like they used whips, right? But just because they use whips to whip us doesn't mean the whip is bad, right? Whips exist.
How was it? Can I ask you a question? How was the whip not bad?
Because you can also use a whip to tame a horse. You can use a whip to do.
You can never. I hate to interrupt you. I'm not trying to interrupt you. Let me say this, please. Let me say this. The things that you're saying right now is a mindset of a person that's guided. I think you're a Christian. You might be the pastor. I don't know. But what I'm gonna say is this: when you say the things that you're saying right now, it's totally. That's what's wrong with black people right now. This is my opinion. It might be totally wrong, but the Bible is not correct. I'm gonna ask you this question specifically. Tell me what year the Bible came out. I just want to answer that question for me real quick. What year did the Bible come out that you go by? Because I know which Bible you go by because I can look at your face and I'm being very cordial because I love you as a brother. But I just want to know what year did the Bible come out?
I think it was in the 600s? I'm not sure.
No, sir. The Bible that what Bible do you read every day? Are you the pastor?
I'm not a pastor.
I don't think there's any pastors on right now, D. No pastors on.
Okay, good. Okay, that's good. That's good. Then now we can go to a deeper thing, Mark. Okay, so I'm just gonna say this, sir. The Bible came out in 1611. It's called the King James Version. The Bible came in 1611. It was printed in the first slave ship. You can look this up on Google. They give it to us on our smartphones. It's Google. The first slave ship came over here in 1595, which was called the Good Ship Jesus. It was called the Good Ship Jesus. And they implemented that into our lives. You got to remember, so the Atlantic slave trade, that's what happened. So think what I'm telling you. If the Good Ship Jesus delivered slaves in 1595, they couldn't control us because we're people that can't be controlled because I just told you 5 minutes ago, we're the smartest people on this earth. Can't nobody control us. So they implemented that in us. Slaves obey your master because they knew you can't. They had to implement that because we would take over anything that black men put their hands on. They take over. That's just us. It's natural. It's us. It's within us. We're going to do it because this is our earth. Anything that walks this earth comes from us. Any white person, anything that walks this earth comes from us. So back to what I'm saying about the Bible part is, King James put that Bible out, and that's what Christians, religion, they go by that right now. So the question that I have while we talking about Christianity, Marvin, this is your session. I'm just listening, and thank you for allowing me to come say this.
Go. Have the
I'm
conversation.
going to say this. This is a good conversation because this is the question that I have. How can black people believe and have faith in everything that they do in Christianity in a book that says, slave, obey your master? And it came from King James, a man that had his own mama beheaded. Look it up. The things that I'm saying is, I'm telling you, I know it's for a fact. And then I can ask you this question. Also, I want you to look this up. Where did Christianity start? So it's a topic that Marvin said, Christianity. You have to know where it comes from. It comes from the Emperor Constantine in 325 AD. Constantine is the one that,
Council of Nicaea.
Right, the Council of Nicaea. So when it comes from them, it didn't come from us, none of us. It come from them. How can it come from them when we are here before them? So we can't believe in something that they give us. And I'm not being, I'm just, man, I'm real passionate. You have to ask Marvin and Gully. I'm just very, very passionate, man, about what I believe in. A white man can't give me something and tell me believe in it. No, I'm not believing in that because I have to do my research on it.
It's like, again, so there's a couple things. One, I'm going to reject, first of all, in context of the Bible, I'm going to reject the whole idea of black and white because literally we come from a people, nations. We come from a region. Like whiteness is an economic construct used to oppress people through capitalism. Like it's just to exploit people. Like that's what whiteness comes from. That's where blackness comes from. You have to exploit a class of people to have the system of capitalism. Okay, so that's race. Religion, the Bible, it's a collection of letters that was circulated in Africa, in Ethiopia, years before. Like, so where did the Bible come from? It came from a collection of letters that comes from Europe, comes from what people call comes from North Africa. It's letters.
No, it never came from what you just said, brother. And I'm I hate to interrupt you, but it never came from Europe. Nothing in the Bible never came from Europe. There's nothing in the Bible that ever came from Europe. You just said something. There's nothing in the Bible that ever came from Europe. Nothing in the Bible ever came from Europe. I've been to Egypt. Matter of fact, Europeans think that Egypt is not even in Africa. Look it up. They don't even think Egypt is from Africa. So, no, what you're saying, no, and I understand what you're saying about the race and this thing like that, but everything, I've been in the tombs, I've been in the pyramids, I've been there. Everything that come out of there came from us, from our ancestors. We are God. And I know you ain't going to take that wisely. We are God. When we walk this earth, that's why I said I'm a spiritual being. I'm a comedic background. I am God. Every day I manifest everything that I want. I manifest it. In such people as Christians, they would say, well, I pray and I'm blessed. No, I'm not blessed. I manifest it in my mind and my soul.
If there's nothing in the Bible that comes from, where is Thessalonica?
Say it again.
Where is Rome? Like,
hold on.
Where is
pull the mic a little closer? You're breaking up in some parts. Yeah, you. Tim. Yeah.
Where is Thessalonica? Right? Where is Rome?
Yeah.
You know
what I'm saying? You say where's home?
To churches in regions. Okay. So
okay, I'm gonna ask you, can I ask you this question? Can I ask you this question? Because what I recognize is I think you're a Christian. You have to be a Christian the way you're talking. I'm just asking. Are you a Christian?
I said I was a Christian.
Okay. You're a Christian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But okay, so if you're a Christian, of course, everything that you're saying, you keep going back, the Bible, the Bible, the Bible. There's over 1,000 Bibles that were written by different people. And all of them come from our ancestors. All you have to do is look it up. And me and you can go one-on-one. I'll take you to lunch. We can sit down and chop it up. But I can't. But you can't keep. This is my opinion. You can't live your life off of what Europeans tell you through a Bible. Because I can write a book today and say, this is what you're going to live your life by, and this is it. It's not fair to my people to do that. And that's what's happened to us. We're so far behind economically, we'll never catch up.
Derek, did you use a mortgage for your house? The house?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the white man gave you that. So
yes, sir.
So is the mortgage and debt it holds Black people back all over the world and this country. So how you use the house, like white people give you a lot of things. Okay, don't act like it's just the Bible that oppresses. It's any number. Did you the cigar?
So do you think we're equal with them then?
Like I guess what I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little bit offended if I be real with you, because I feel like you.
Okay, can I say this? Hold on. I want to hear you. No, I want to hear you. What you saying? You offended? I want to hear you. What you say? You offended?
Hold on, Derek. So we got Tim. Tim, stay on that because I want you to go. I think we should be able to speak freely because, like, the end of the day, Derek is good people. Tim is good people. Tim is in Houston, so we have to get him up here, and we can't go out to break bread, and it's gonna be all good. We had one more person join. We got Marvin Muhammad on. He's on phone call, but I don't know if he's up for talking. I brought him to the stage. I don't know if he can take himself off mute. He can introduce himself if he's capable. I see his phone number. He's listening. We can't hear you. You're still on mute. But he is in the room. All right. Okay.
Can I say something, sir?
We'll try to get him off mute here in a minute. Malcolm, see if you can work with him to get him off mute. He joined the call. You just can't hear him.
Marvin, is that your dad?
Yeah, that's my dad. He jumped on.
I've never met your dad before. I'm actually kind of excited. This ought to be kind of cool, actually.
But he's stuck on mute, so we want to welcome him, but he's not talking. He can't talk right now because he muted. So pick him back up, unless you about to say something, Adrian. Okay, we can pick back up where Tim was. You got something, A?
No, I'm listening to Tim. I want to hear what.
Okay, we can go back to Tim. Tim, we can pick up where because Derek was asking to go ahead. But you're offended.
Very interested in hearing Tim. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No,
okay.
I wanted to hear Tim.
Unmute.
Okay, there he is. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. There, he's unmuted now. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm just enjoying the conversation. I'm really proud of you, brothers. Thanks for elaborating on this call, and I'm just enjoying the conversation. And let's continue forward, and everybody's bringing great points, and let's continue forward. And I just want to say I'm enjoying it. Thank you so much.
Okay,
that's all I want to say.
All right, Tim. Appreciate it. Okay, Tim, let's pick up with Tim and expound on being offended. This is a good conversation. I think it's
okay. Marvin, can I say this real quick, Marvin?
Yeah.
Hey, Marvin. Yes, Tim, I just want to say that I wasn't trying to offend you. It's kind of Tim. I wasn't trying to offend you. Go ahead, Tim. I want to hear what you said. I want to understand what you're saying.
The volume is good. Go ahead.
And Derek, I'm gonna be real with you. I should not have been offended, but I can't lie. It's like my faith is it's in a lot of ways it's central to a lot of what I do, right? So when you ascribe any part of it to whiteness, I ain't gonna lie. It's like that pisses me off. Because it's not.
Let me jump in right here. I hear what you're saying, Tim, but I think what'll help me is why is that, or how, or what is the basis of that strong faith? Like you say it's so like I know you're
That's a
saying
good question. I like that.
Derek attached to whiteness, which was the offensive part, but then you said because of your faith, that was why you were offended. I get that, but why is that so deep? What makes that so?
Okay, so
Hold on. That's based on the Bible, right?
my faith is not based on the Bible. I'm gonna be real with you. The Bible, like they say, it's a collection of letters that I wasn't around to see. It was assembled in dubious ways. Okay?
Yeah.
My faith is based on the experience of my grandparents first, my own experience, and then I've prayed, I've like read certain things, and then there's a leap of faith. It's just I just choose to believe, right? There's wherever those gaps are, I've seen certain things, and I made a choice, or we teach that faith is given to you, but in Christianity, but there are things that just aren't, that have no reason, and then you just you accept it. So anyway, but it began with my grandfather telling me about prayers that he made that was answered, and then my own experiences, and then so I was grounded in
I see you. I got you. Go ahead.
I was grounded in there because I asked why are we doing certain things? Well, okay. Let me just say, I'm trying not to spend too much time, but there was my grandfather told me two things that happened to him, and then I had again my own experience. And then I looked and did research on how the Bible was created, historical records that verified there was a person that I believe indicate the presence of a person named Jesus. Okay. And then I was like, okay, this is enough for me to believe. And okay.
It's just the faith and the belief that just carried forward ever since.
Yeah, some things are real, some things are not. Some things are real, some things are anecdotes, things that I've heard and things that but yeah, you add it all together and it's a faith.
Adrian had his hand up, who's in the room, the boom boom room over there. What you got, Aid? You had your hand up, you had a response or
yes, because I heard him say about he used his grandfather, and people use their the upbringing to say, I believe in what my parents, my grandfather taught me, instilled in me. But the problem is the Bible says it itself. You have to have your own understanding of what you read. So when your mother and your father tells you something, you still have to go back and ask yourself, what do I truly believe within myself? You can't always sit down and take what your father and your mother tells you, because that Bible that you read, you have to have the knowledge for yourself, not what your parents teach you. You still have to read it and have an understanding for yourself. And there's one thing that I always had a problem when people use their history and their background. I never will forget, and this is something that I always say, and Derek know I always say this, is my grandmother used to go fishing all the time. And she always used to tell me, you can't catch a fish unless you have live bait. And I remember going down there when we was fishing, and she truly believed in it. That was her mindset. She was born and raised up on catching fish with live bait, whether it's a worm, minnow, grasshopper, it doesn't matter. It had to be live. Well, one day we was down there fishing. There was a white man down there fishing. And I went down there and I was fishing close to him because he was catching all the fish. I went down there, I asked him what he was using, and he said, I'm using a jig. I didn't know what a jig was. The man hooked my line up and I started catching fish. And the first fish I caught, I took it back to my grandmother and said, Grandma, look what I caught. She said, what did you catch? I said, I caught a fish. She said, what you caught him on? I told him I caught it on a jig that was not a live bait. Till this day, she never believed that I could catch a fish without live bait. And reason why I set that example, because she had to see it. I had to make her see it, and she still didn't believe that you didn't catch a fish with live bait because of the way she was taught. So some people that actually read the Bible, they always go back to what their mother and father said when they don't sit down and take their own thoughts and put it together for themselves. And I always hear that when he said about his upbringing and about his grandfather.
Well, so here's the thing. I mean, I have to acknowledge my orientation. I agree with you, right? But that's where I began. I will admit to you, once I spent time in a church, because I spent a lot of time in the church, and so much of it is a hustle.
Yeah.
So much of it is corrupt, like
true. That is true. I'm with you.
It's very, very, very bad, a lot of it. So because of that, I fell away. You know what I'm saying? And I did become regrounded again in my own experience and my own research. But what I do bristle at when you hear criticism of the church is like, you'd have to show me the institution that has virtue. Show me anything that you can point to that's got people in it and it isn't screwed up, because I can show it. I promise you, if it's not people in it, it's messed up.
My question there then, Tim, would be, I want to be associated with something separate from man-made creation that's going to elevate me higher. So you can tell me the church is the same thing as Amazon, the same thing as Six Flags, same thing as the Dallas Independent School District, because people are associated with it. When this man is telling me my spirituality and my ever after heaven, hell is not in his hands, but he's leading me. So I might as well follow Jeff Bezos. I might as well follow, you know what I'm saying? No, in this example, as Tim was putting it, the church, because people are associated with it, it can be corrupt because of the people. Now, I know what you're going to say, but it's the Bible and the faith of it all. Then I could just, Jeff Bezos has a really good insurance policy. He can like.
No, so I hear you, but like with Alpha, right?
Go ahead.
Yeah, like it's not all of it that you're gonna identify with. There's people that you're gonna.
I agree.
Okay, but at its highest ideal, you understand what it is, and I think you have to do that again with anything.
Okay. You know at its highest. Okay.
So and quite honestly, with Christianity, I think a lot of what we consider Christianity, it isn't Christianity. It's Americanism. Like Americanism is its own religion. And, to answer your initial question, one of the things I'm most excited by is that Americanism is becoming divorced as the country becomes more secular. It's becoming divorced from Christianity. It's going to thin the crowd out. You're not going to have these churches going forward because they don't really believe in Jesus. Like it's not, they believe in.
So can I ask you a question? Do you believe in Jesus?
I do.
Okay, can I ask you a question then? And I just want to ask a question. I want to ask this question. If you believe in Jesus and you believe in the things that you do have your faith, and understand this when I say this, Mr. Timothy, is that you got to remember, faith and hope is the same thing. Faith and hope is the exact same thing. So when I say that, if you believe in Jesus, that means that you believe that everything, the parables that he told in the Bible, all those things happen. You believe in the miracles and things like that, like they can walk on water. He can raise Lazarus from the dead. He can do. You believe that, right? I just want to make sure, right?
Yeah, he's saying he on mute.
Oh, yes, I apologize. I thought you could see me.
Oh, okay. So you believe that, right? Okay. So in saying that, I'm gonna ask this question: why have nothing in the last 2,000 years not one miracle has happened on this earth. Since Jesus, the so-called Jesus that supposed to have walked this earth, not one miracle has happened. Not one. Matter of fact, this is the way I tell Gully and I tell Marvin. I'm not being funny when I say this. I said, let's take T.D. Jakes, Joel Osteen. We're gonna take him out to Lake Ray Hubbard. And I tell Gully this story all the time. He laughed. I said, we're gonna put him on a boat. We're gonna say, I'm gonna tell you gonna walk on water. And I said, it's gonna fail because it never existed, never happened. And then after T.D. Jakes tried to walk on water, when he drowned, I'm gonna tell Joel Osteen, you raise him from the dead. Let's see if that happens. That's not gonna happen because it never happened. Because and I'm not a man of faith and hope. I don't go off of that. What I go off of is what's in me. And I look at I'm gonna bring this to you right now as a brother and as a black man. I do. Matter of fact, I don't know you because I just met you on this line with Marvin. You can call me tomorrow because I know Marvin, and it's not about faith or hope. It's because I love Marvin as a brother. I'm looking at your house in the background. You have a beautiful home. As a Christian, you probably believe God or Jesus blessed you with that home. You probably really believe that. I don't have a nice home. Marvin has a nice home. We all have nice things, but I don't believe that I was blessed with it. No. I believe I manifested through myself and I obtained it myself. Ain't nothing gave me nothing. Because if that's the fact, this is my thing, Timothy. If that's the fact that they blessed us and they did this for us and they did that, and you believe in that Jesus character, why the hell he didn't bless my ancestors for 400 to 450 years? And ain't a Christian on this earth can answer that question. Because them people were being slaughtered. They was treated worse than dogs. Matter of fact, their babies was used as alligator bait. They used to put our babies in the water and use them as alligator bait. How the hell? And I'm just being talking to you.
No,
you're a good brother. I can see that. Yeah. We just talking. I'm just saying. There is no way that I can believe in a blessing or I can believe in Jesus or I believe when my mom died. I'm gonna tell you this, Timothy. I was sitting there and I was a Christian at the time when my mom died in 2003. I didn't shed a tear. I heard the pastor talking about my mom, this and that. I'm like, yeah, she in the gates of heaven and she doing this. I'm like, how the hell you know that? And all the Christians like, faith. We believe it because of faith. And then I understand faith and hope is the same thing because they believe in a Bible that was written by a European man and orchestrated to give to us to live our lives by. We live our lives by something that they put out there. Okay. I've been to those countries.
So a couple things about the miracles. I don't think that you see miracles happening now. I think that the reason why, and you might hear something different from other people. This is what I've been taught, that when you have someone like, people, there's a new person who claims he's the son of God or that they're God every few years, right? Like it's not so uncommon that someone comes along and says that they're God or that they have some kind of special revelation from God. The reason why we're talking about Jesus 2,000 years later is because something else happened, right? Now, there are people who would also argue that Mormonism, right now we look at Mormons and think, well, some people look at Mormons and think that's a fluke religion. But they say 2,000 years from now, people might assume that Joseph Smith.
Can I ask you a question real quick? And I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to ask you, why do you believe in Jesus? And I want to understand that. Why do you believe in Jesus?
Well, because there's a record of people who died, who were martyred, like, the disciples, like historical record that they lived one life and then chose to die in a different way. Okay. So I don't necessarily, I never met Jesus, but I believe that something altered their path, right, of these however many guys. And then because they weren't like T.D. Jakes. It wasn't a hustle back then. There wasn't no money. Now they were oppressed by the Romans and they were looking to, they were an oppressed minority. So they were looking to change their circumstance, right? But something happened to those people to where they were living one life, they chose to die. And then at the risk of death and persecution, chose to continue to keep telling those people. And those miracles that happened back then were necessary, in my opinion, in the way I was taught, for the gospel to spread despite this persecution that was happening. And it's not necessary now because we have the Bible, we have the letters, we have the experiences that come from Jesus.
I'm gonna do like they do in the Christian church. I'm gonna do this. So I got a question. One more question, Marvin. I gotta ask it. Okay, so, and I'm just want to ask you this part. So you believe in Jesus and things like that, and this is a real deep question. What I'm gonna ask you. So you tell me a Bible that was written in 1611. That's the King James version. It was 1,000 Bibles that was written. But in any of them, in any Bible that was written, they have these characters. And I say that, Timothy, I'm not being funny. I'm not making fun. I'm being serious when I say this. Any character, there was over 2,000 characters, 1,000 plus characters in the Bible. I know that for a fact, right? Okay, so out of all those characters that's in the Bible, why is it, Timothy, you say there's record? There's no record. There's no record. And I'm going to say this because I know for a fact, because I've been in Egypt. I know for a fact there's no record. You can go to, my grandma was born in 1913. My great-grandmother was born in 1886. I can go to their grave site. I'm right off the back of slavery. But you're talking about just 2,000 years ago. I can go to, matter of fact, the Europeans is in Africa right now digging up our ancestors. We can't go dig up their ancestors because they don't have none, because they come from us. So when the question that I have for you is, why is it that in the Bible that you go by as a Christian, that you can't find not one, I'm putting on my fingers, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, you can't find one bone, one fingernail, one head, one nothing of nobody that's in that Bible. That's and understand what I'm asking you. Why can't we find no artifacts that anybody, Mary Magdalene, anybody, Abraham, anybody, Timothy, anybody, I can name all the names in the Bible. You can't find nothing that they ever walked this earth. You can't find nothing, no grave sites, no nothing. Why is that? That don't, to black people, that don't raise like, damn, we can't even find, but right now, they're over there in Africa digging our ancestors up that's 4,000 years old, it's a perfect damn casket. Perfect. Ain't been broken, ain't no seal broken. You can find us, but you can't find not one person in that Bible. Is that kind of unusual to you, or your faith outweighs that fact right there? If your faith outweighs that fact, that's why I am the way I am. That's why I have the Kemetic background, the spirituality about myself. I am God. I live within myself, and I manifest good things to good people every day, to everyone. I just be a good person, treat everybody the way you're supposed to, and live a good life. But it's just weird to me that's very, very weird, very, very, very strange that you can't find one person in that Bible.
One second, Tim, before you say something. Derek, hi, I'm 6. Welcoming myself to the room. Derek, just one quick question. While you were abroad, shall we say, and I'm going to go ahead and put it out there that 6 is a Christian, mother is a pastor, grandmother was a pastor, Zetas, the whole kit and caboodle. So I would consider myself well-rounded. So I'm prepared to have this conversation myself. But while you were over in Egypt, by any chance, did you happen to go by the Cairo Museum? Because a lot of those artifacts that you're questioning and wondering why there aren't any running around, a lot of those are in there. Did you get a chance to go inside of there, or was that closed the day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I went to a lot of artifacts.
Go ahead.
I can't hear it more.
No, I was just asking, did you see any of the artifacts that are specifically referenced in the Bible inside of the Cairo Museum?
No, I did not. And the reason why I did not, because anything that's in the Bible, it was taken from our ancestors off the scrolls and the walls in Egypt. So what they did was they took it. It's common sense what white men do to this day. They take it and they put it in their own words. It's common sense. It's not It don't take, matter of fact, my 13-year-old daughter, I teach her, you can be a Christian, you can be a Catholic, you can be what you want to be. It's their choice. But my wife is a Catholic. So what I'm saying is, if you can't prove, I just asked a question. You went to you came back with another thing, man. I'm saying all I'm asking you is a simple question. Why is we cannot find one bone, fingernail? Answer that question. Don't go to nothing else. Answer that question. Why we can't find why we can't find nothing that they ever even walked this earth? Just answer that. Don't go to nothing. Don't talk about no Bible. Don't talk about nothing else. Answer that question. Why we can't find they order that they walked this earth?
Believe.
Go ahead, Tim.
And I haven't looked it up. This is just off the top, so I could be wrong. I apologize if I am. But the Vatican literally, if I remember correctly, the Vatican is literally founded in the basement. They have the Peter's like bones. Like I've never been to the Vatican.
I have.
I've been to the Vatican. I've been to the Vatican. So, okay, let me say this real quick.
Peter's bones. I'm just okay.
Let me say this. Right. Can I say this real quick?
No.
Let me say this real quick.
I'll let you go on and extend it. Let me just say this. So you saying that?
Okay, I'm listening.
And I'm saying they say they have them. Okay. Well, I believe that they.
So hey, Timothy, if they have them, don't you think they would release them so we all will be believers? Man, that's common sense.
But so I just looked it up. It's speculated that they're down there. It's under the basilica.
You just said the word at the beginning, Marvin. You said speculated.
Well, it's speculated. They haven't dug it up because that means they'd have to dig up parts of the Vatican itself. It's altar of the confession, and it's believed that Saint Peter is his burial site is there, although they haven't exhumed the body or what have you or dug it up.
Imagine that. Imagine that. That's all I'm gonna say. Imagine that.
Their faith is that it's there. But we try to great conversation. I enjoy hearing different, but it's we try to keep a tight hour just out of respect the time, and we could always wrap it up and still have the conversation past that. Tim has some closing remarks, so I'll let everybody have just a touch without question, just kind of wrap it up on where they. I mean, Derek kind of stated this point. Everybody stated the point where they feel Christianity, the Black man, America, all of it is. Even Six jumping in. Even my Mr. Muhammad, you can jump in too. Just
well, I'll be.
No, just how do and I think we do it. I think I like Derek's point, and I like Tim. I like the faith, and I like Derek's self manifestation of doing good. He is God. He's a manifestation of the quote unquote God. That said, let's have a wrap up just on this hour on Who's in the Room on Christianity. Tim, we'll let you close out with a response and just like a closing statement.
No, so let me first. I'm apologize. I stepped on you. I'm sorry about that, Marvin.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. I enjoyed the conversation as well, man. Like I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to participate and in some parts educate. Because what I mean. I'll just say, Christianity is a personal decision, and I made my decision. I fell away. I came back. I agree with these guys. Do the research, see what's out there. That's all I gotta say.
And I appreciate you for coming on, and standing strong in the faith. And that's part of what this whole conversation needed. When I heard Derek was coming on, or had another Who's in the Room, he didn't make it because he was working. Standing strong in that faith is what this conversation needed. And I appreciate that. Thank you for joining, and thank you for being open and talking about it. Mr. Muhammad, you got any closing thing? I'm just going around the horn. I see your number. You still on mute. You walking the dog. You're not at home no more. You eating okra. Which
leave your daddy alone.
I don't know what he on mute.
Leave your daddy alone.
He got a flip phone still. He got a
leave your daddy alone, man.
Plug it in still. All right, we'll come back. He'll come off mute in a minute. All right. Derek, I got Derek next. Derek, we wrapping, we close. And Adrian late just now fixed his camera an hour later. Go ahead, Derek.
Okay, all I'm gonna say is this: is that I enjoyed y'all company. I enjoyed what we talked about. I thank y'all for more for inviting me, Adrian. Success and Timothy, I really enjoyed it. And Miss, I think it's 6.
Yeah.
I thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I appreciate everything, and I just think that it's always good to have a good conversation about things like this. And it's not things like this; it's some real things that we're talking about. This is serious because it's talking about your soul and the last moment on this earth. You know, things like that. So I think that we have to understand it's an in touchness that we have with this earth that other people don't have with this. We are people of this earth. We come from this earth. We are this earth. You have to understand that we are spiritual beings, man. They can't touch us. There's no pastor. There's nothing that, all that Bible stuff, all that, it doesn't, we're above that. We're way above that. We are gods. We walk this earth. Anything that you manifest, which Christians would say, pray about your breast. No, manifest it. You manifest it, it will come to pass. That's my opinion. And I just think that we are great people and keep being great people because it looks like it's great people on here. And I thank y'all, man, that just inviting me, and it was a great talk. And hey, I'll be willing to do it again, man. Really enjoyed it.
That's what's up. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming from your viewpoint and your angle. I like the conversation and your input and your convictions on it. So, and I see my dad came off mute also. And Adrian, we lost Adrian. He might log back on, but look like we lost him as he was getting set up. So, Mr. Muhammad, did you have something?
He sleep.
No.
He sleep.
So you good?
No,
okay.
no. Hey.
That's my mom in the back.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the conversation. It was great, man. Thanks for the great viewpoint. Thanks for the dialect that was given. You know, and it's a great conversation. And I'm proud to see. I'm glad. I'm proud to see that these brothers are, because I'm up in age, but I'm proud to see that y'all are intellecting in this kind of language and dialogue, and that's great to hear, brothers. You know, so.
In the future, we try to do these every Thursday of Who's in the Room, and he's I know he has the mosque over in Fort Worth that has Black Muslim affiliation. So maybe in the future, Who's in the Rooms, we could bring on that group of brothers and have a conversation with them, how they view Black men in America right now, and how we can. Part of this is have open conversation, open dialogue, so how we can identify with one another, right? How I can identify with Tim, love Tim, 20 years in, faith-based, and then Derek, been knowing probably, I mean, we date back comedy, probably at least 15. Yes,
sir.
At least 15. And Gully, a little bit more, because I met Derek through Gully. And quick story, first time I met Gully, he had I'm hosting a comedy show. It's one person laughing loud as hell in the back of the room. Don't know the cat. It turned out it was Adrian Gully. So you meet people like Derek. I think Derek said, maybe Tim said it. You meet people where they are, and you go from there. And that's how I judge people.
Right.
Black, white, Indian, color, culture, ethnic background. I don't see none of that. I don't care. I mean, I see it, but I don't care about it. It is what it is. We all people from the earth.
That's it.
People up. So that being said, I appreciate you, D. Dad, 6. Adrian, you back on?
Yeah, I'm back on.
You got any closing remarks? I know you. I mean, you. I don't know if you're paying by the hour your AT&T bill, but your generator about to run out.
No, this was a good topic, man. I love this topic, man. That's why I had to bring my boy Derek on, man.
Okay.
Tim, I
really appreciate it.
Man, Tim, I like that, man.
All right, appreciate it. And I like that. We go. Hey. We're gonna sharpen these swords, and like I said, I enjoy conversation about any and everything. I don't know what next week's topic will be about, but I hope all y'all brothers can join us. If you can't, find somebody who can. I'm looking at this down the road, and we got 30 people on here just trying to exchange, and it's not limited to Black men. That's just, this is my immediate circle, so that's why Black men own. In the future, it could be Black women, white, Indian, Latvian Orthodox, Jew, whatever it want to be, just to have the conversation. It's not always all about religion. It's just about life and how we can be in amongst and live and exist.
Yeah.
Way. That being said, I appreciate y'all for sitting in the room with who's in the room. I'm Marvin Michaels, and we signing off. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Peace. Peace. One love.
One love.